What if feeling stuck is really about not trusting yourself? Today, I will show you 3 simple habits that can raise your self-worth in a practical way. Ready to see what happens when you stop breaking promises to yourself? There is one truth that very few people talk about. Most of the frustration you feel about your life has less to do with your circumstances and much more to do with how you show up for yourself every single day. When you keep drifting between intentions and excuses, your brain starts believing that you cannot trust yourself. And once that belief sinks in, confidence, clarity, and motivation begin to collapse like a slow domino effect. But there is a different path, and it does not require extreme discipline or sudden life changes. It begins with a simple question. Do you keep the small promises you make to yourself? People with strong self-worth do not wait for applause or external approval to feel valuable. They create value from the inside out by doing one powerful thing. They honor their word, especially when no one is watching. A small promise like writing 3 sentences in a journal, drinking water before coffee, or taking a 5-minute walk can seem irrelevant. But these small actions signal to your mind that you are someone reliable, someone who respects your own boundaries. When this happens consistently, your inner identity begins to shift. You no longer see yourself as someone who hopes to change, but as someone who follows through. And this sense of consistency becomes the foundation of real self-respect. The second habit high self-worth individuals practice is choosing the difficult thing on purpose. Not the impossible thing, not the dramatic thing, but the meaningful discomfort that strengthens your inner muscles. When you do something challenging, even for a short time, you send a message to your brain that you are capable of handling resistance. That message builds strength that no motivational quote can ever give you. Maybe it is the difficult conversation you have been avoiding, or the task that feels boring but important, or the decision that scares you because it asks for honesty. When you choose the harder option intentionally, you start to feel proud of yourself in a way that does not depend on anyone else. And then there is the third habit, perhaps the most underestimated of all, showing up for yourself on the days when you feel tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally foggy. This does not mean pushing yourself to extremes. It means being present for yourself, even in a smaller capacity. High self-worth people do not disappear from their own lives just because their mood drops. They adapt, they adjust, but they stay engaged with their own goals and values. That ongoing presence creates trust, and trust creates inner power. So here is the real question. If these habits can build a stronger sense of worth, what actually happens inside you the moment you begin practicing them? The answer is simple, but very powerful. Your brain begins to rewrite its opinion about who you are. When you keep small promises, choose meaningful difficulty, and remain present for yourself, you create a psychological loop of self-belief. Instead of waiting for motivation, you begin generating it through action. This shift does not come from affirmations or wishful thinking. It comes from evidence. Your mind trusts what you do, not what you intend. And when your actions align with what you value, your self-worth becomes stronger, more stable, and much less dependent on external recognition. Most people look for confidence in achievements, compliments, or moments of success. But that creates fragile self-worth, because the moment the applause stops, the sense of value disappears. High self-worth individuals do the opposite. They choose identity before achievement. They ask, who do I want to be today? And then they act in small ways that confirm that identity. This is why they are not easily shaken when life gets stressful. Their worth is rooted in actions that repeat, not emotions that fluctuate. Imagine someone who tells himself every morning that he will take care of his health, but every evening he breaks that promise. Over time, even without realizing it, he builds an identity of inconsistency. Now imagine someone else who sets very small commitments and honors them. Over time, she builds an identity of reliability. These identities shape behavior, decisions, relationships, and mental health. The beauty of this approach is that it is accessible to anyone. You do not need major life changes. You need continuity. You need honesty with yourself. And you need the courage to embrace discomfort in a way that strengthens you instead of exhausting you. With time, these practices form a sense of worth that stays with you through setbacks, failures, and uncertainty. But there is one final piece that most people overlook, and it might be the most transformative of all. If these 3 habits build inner worth, what is the deeper reason they work so well in real life? The deeper reason these habits work is that they train your mind to see you as someone who matters. When you choose consistency, choose difficulty, and choose presence, you are sending a signal to yourself that your goals, your boundaries, and your life deserve attention. You stop treating yourself like an optional character in your own story. You become the main character again. And that shift changes everything. When your brain believes that you matter, it begins filtering challenges differently. Instead of thinking, "I cannot handle this," it begins thinking, "I can figure this out." Instead of assuming you will fail, it assumes you will adapt. Instead of quitting early, it expects you to stay with yourself through the process. In psychological terms, this builds self-efficacy, self-respect, and inner resilience. But in simple terms, it just makes life feel more possible. The best part is that you do not need to be perfect. You only need to stay connected with yourself. If one day you slip, you can return the next day without shame. When you build self-worth through consistent action, failure stops being a personal threat. It becomes feedback. It becomes part of the process. So if you want real confidence, the kind that does not crumble when someone criticizes you or when a plan goes wrong, begin with these 3 habits. Keep small promises to yourself. Choose challenging actions that build inner strength. Show up for yourself, even on the messy days. These habits build a version of you that you can trust, and trust is the real source of self-worth. At the end of the day, everything we explored comes back to one simple truth. Your self-worth is not something you wait to feel. It is something you build through small, steady actions that show your mind you matter. When you keep your own promises, when you choose the meaningful challenge, and when you stay present for yourself even on difficult days, you begin to reshape the way you see your entire life. The real benefit is not only higher confidence, it is clarity. It is stability. It is the calm sense that you can trust yourself again. And when you trust yourself, every area of your life becomes easier to navigate. If this message reached you today, I would love to have you here in this community. Subscribe to the channel and join me. I am here to support your growth with clarity, warmth, and tools that actually work. Your journey matters, and I would be honored to walk it with you.